How are you guys doing? Today is Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Monday, June 21st. And of course, I'm going to preview everything that's going on today as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. So just getting into it, there were no basketball games that took place in the NBA playoffs yesterday because yesterday was a transition day for the Atlanta Hawks, of course, to travel down to Milwaukee to get their series started, and game 2 for the Western Conference Finals starts today. So that is really what's going on with basketball. Right now, the 2nd seed Phoenix Suns lead the 4th seed Los Angeles Clippers 1-0, and another win at home could put them up. Could possibly put them 2 wins away from their first NBA Finals in their franchise's history. And the Clippers, of course, are trying to win their first title ever as well. That game's going to be tonight at 9:30, just to give you a sense of where the NBA is. Switching the context to the NHL, saying in the arena, jumping out to Tampa Bay, the defending Stanley Cup champions and 2021 Central Division champions Tampa Bay Lightning hosted the Eastern Division champs, the New York Islanders, and the Lightning were able to pull off an 8-0 win. They were able to get 2 goals from their center, Steven Stamkos, and they were also able to get 2 goals from their left winger, Alex Killorn. With all 8 of their goals, they would pick up their Game 5 win. They are now 1 win away from clinching a spot in the Stanley Cup final, as they currently hold a 3-2 series lead. And Game 6 will be played in New York. Jumping out to what's going on today, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Western Division champs, are going to host the Northern Division champs, Montreal Canadiens, on NBC Sports Network at 9 o'clock. Of course, that's going to be a highly anticipated matchup between a team that everyone expected to get here and a team that not that many people expected to get here. So right now, that's what's going on with playoff hockey as we navigate through that. Jumping out to the MLB, there was a doubleheader in New York as the New York Mets hosted the Atlanta Braves. In the first matchup, Jacob deGrom would pick up his 7th win of the season as the Mets were able to beat the Braves 4-2, scoring 3 of their 4 runs in the 5th inning. For the Atlanta Braves, the start and the loss would go to their starting pitcher, Kyle Muller. Muller would allow 1 earned run in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, Muller is 0-1 as a starting pitcher for the Atlanta Braves this season. In their batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit, but their elite second baseman, Ozzie Albies, would go 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run, as Albies would go on to hit his 11th home run of the season. For the New York Mets, the start and the win would go to their elite starting pitcher, Jacob deGrom. He allowed no earned runs and only 1 hit in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this win, Jacob deGrom is now 7-2, and his ERA is now .50 on the season. The save would go to their closer, Edwin Diaz, who would allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitched as he picked up his 15th save of the year, like I just said. In their batting lineup, their left fielder Dominic Smith would go 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs, as nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. With this win, the Atlanta Braves would, or the New York Mets would host the Atlanta Braves for Game 2, and the Atlanta Braves would beat the Mets in 7 innings. The only run of the game being their solo home run from Ronald Acuna Jr. in the 5th inning. For the New York Mets, in their loss, the start would end up going to Jared Eichhoff. Eichhoff would allow no earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 3, and the loss would go to the Mets first relief pitcher, Miguel Castro. Castro would allow 1 earned run in 1 inning pitched as he was unable to strike out a batter on the day. With this loss, Castro is now 2-2 on the season. And in their batting lineup, their elite first baseman, Pete Alonso, would go 2 for 3, and their left fielder, Dominic Smith, would go 2 for 3 as well. For the Atlanta Braves, the start and the win, and I think the best pitching performance of the night, went to Ian Anderson. He allowed no earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he only allowed allowed 3 hits, only allowed 1 walk, and he struck out 5 batters in those 5.1 innings. And the save will go to Will Smith. Will Smith allowed no earned runs and only 2 hits in 1 inning pitched. He would pick up his 14th save of the season. In their batting lineup, their elite right fielder Ronald Acuna Jr. was the only player on the Atlanta Braves who finished with more than 1 hit. He went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 20th home run of the season. With this win and loss, the Atlanta Braves are now 34-37. That is the 3rd best record in the National League East. They have now won they've won 5 of their last 10 games. They trailed the New York Mets by 5 games in the National League East at the moment. And with this loss, the New York Mets are now 37-30. Or with this win and loss, the Mets are now 37-30. That is the best record in the National League East. They are currently holding on to the 2nd seed in the National League if the playoffs were to start today. They've lost 5 of their last 10, and they sit 4 games ahead of the 2nd-place Philadelphia Phillies in the division following this doubleheader. Jumping out to Baltimore, the Baltimore Orioles hosted the Houston Astros, and the Astros were able to beat the Orioles 10-2 after scoring all 10 of their runs before the Orioles could score both of their runs in the 8th inning. For the Orioles, the start and the loss would go to Keegan Akin. Keegan Akin would allow 5 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, Akin is 0-3 on the season. In their batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit, but their third baseman, Michael Franco, would go 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 9th home run of the season. For the Houston Astros, the start and the win would go to their starting pitcher, Jake Odorizzi. He allowed no earned runs and no hits through 5 innings as he struck out 9 batters. He would have probably the best pitching performance of the night. With this win, he is now 2-3 on the season. In their batting lineup, their designated hitter, Michael Brantley, would go 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs, as he also had 2 walks. He made it to base every single time and scored 3 times. Their first baseman, Yuli Gurriel, will go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs as well. And with this win, the Houston Astros are now 44-28. That is currently the best record in the American League West, as they have won their last 8 games and 9 of their last 10. They sit 1 game ahead of the 2nd-place Oakland Athletics in the division at the moment. With this loss, the Baltimore Orioles are now 23-49. That is the worst record in the American League, as they have now lost their last 3 games and 9 of their last 10. They now sit 20 games behind the Boston Red Sox in the American League East. Jumping out to Chicago, the Chicago Cubs hosted the Cleveland Indians, and the Cleveland Indians were able to pull off a 4-0 shutout of the Chicago Cubs on the day. For the Chicago Cubs, the start and the loss would go to Adbert Alzolay. He allowed 3 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, Alzolay is now 4-6 on the season as a starting pitcher. In their batting lineup, their catcher Wilson Contreras was the only player with more than 1 hit as he went 2 for 3 on the day. For the Cleveland Indians, the start would go to Aaron Savali. Savali allowed no earned runs and only 3 hits in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The win, however, would go to the Cleveland Indians' first relief pitcher, Brian Shaw. He allowed no earned runs in 1.1 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this win, Shaw is 2-2 as a relief pitcher. In their batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their right fielder, Josh Naylor. He went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 6th home run of the season. With this win, the Cleveland Indians are now 40-30. That is the 2nd best record in the American League Central, as they have won their last 2 games and 7 of their last 10. They currently trail the Chicago White Sox by 2 games in the division, and they trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 1.5 games for the 2nd wildcard spot in the American League. With this loss, the Chicago Cubs are now 40-33. That is the best record in the National League Central, as they are now tied with the Milwaukee Brewers. Looking at where they stand in terms of the division leaders, they currently trail the San Francisco Giants and New York Mets for the best record in the for the best record in the National League, and they sit 2 games behind the San Diego Padres for the 2nd wildcard spot to give a sense of where the Cubs are. Jumping out to Dallas, The Texas Rangers hosted the Oakland Athletics and were able to pull off an 8-3 win as 5 of their runs came in the first inning and the other 3 came in the 6th. For the Athletics, the start and the loss would go to Frankie Montas. He allowed 8 earned runs in 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this loss, Frankie Montas is 7-7 as a starter. In their batting lineup, their left fielder Tony Kemp would go 2 for 4 with a run. He was the only player with more than 1 hit on the day. For the Texas Rangers, however, the start and the win would go to their starting pitcher, Kyle Gibson. He allowed 2 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this win, Kyle Gibson is now 5-0 as a starting pitcher for the Rangers, as he is also sporting a 2.17 ERA. In their batting lineup, their designated hitter, Willie Calhoun, will go 2 for 4 with a run, and the only other player with more than 1 hit was their catcher, Jose Trevino, who went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. He hit his 3rd home run of the season yesterday. With this win, the Texas Rangers are now 26-46. That is the worst record in the American League West, and the 2nd worst record in the American League, as they have now won 3 of their last 10 games. They now trail the Houston Astros by 18 games in the division. With this loss, the Oakland Athletics are now 44-30. That is the 2nd best record in the American League West, and they have now lost their last 3 games, and they have only lost 3 of their last 10 games. They now sit 1 game behind the Houston Astros in the division, and they sit 1 game ahead of the Tampa Bay Rays for the first place spot in the American Wild Card, to give a sense of where the Athletics sit. Jumping out to Minneapolis, the Minnesota Twins hosted the Cincinnati Reds and were able to pull up a 7-5 win. Play of the night happened in Minnesota as Miguel Sano had hit his 14th home run of the season in the bottom of the 12th to give the Twins a 2-run win, winning 7-5. For the Cincinnati Reds, the start would go to Tyler Mahle. Mahle would pitch 4 innings, allowing only 3 runs and striking out 8. The loss would go to the Reds' closer, Heath Hembree. Hembree would allow 2 runs in 0.1 inning pitched. With this loss, he is now 1-3 on the season. In their batting lineup, their second baseman, Jonathan India, would go 3 for 5 on the day. Their first baseman, Joey Votto, would go 2 for 5. Their elite third baseman, Eugenio Suarez, would go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run as he hit his 15th home run of the season. For the Minnesota Twins, the start would go to J.A. Happ. He allowed 3 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win would go to their closer, Matt Shoemaker. Shoemaker would allow 0 earned runs and no hits even in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this win, he's now 3-8 on the season. In their batting lineup, their third baseman, Luis Arias, would go 2 for 6 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their pinch hitting center field, or their pinch hitting first baseman, Miguel Sano, would go 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 14th home run of the year, including the walk-off 2-run home run to win them the game. Their right fielder, Max Kepler, would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their second baseman, Jorge Polanco, would go 2 for 6 with a run. Their first baseman, Alex Kirilloff, would go 2 for 4 with a run as well. And with this win, the Minnesota Twins are now 31-41. That is the 4th best record in the American League Central. They have now won their last 5 games and 6 of their last 10. They now trail the Chicago White Sox by 12 games in the division. With this loss, the Cincinnati Reds are now 35-36. That is the 4th best record in the National League Central. They have now lost their last 5 games, and they have lost 5 of their last 10. They now trail the Chicago Cubs by 4 games in the National League Central. And they also trail the Milwaukee Brewers because the Brewers and Cubs are tied at this moment. Jumping out to Phoenix, the Arizona Diamondbacks hosted the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Diamondbacks were able to beat the Brewers to snap their losing streak. The Diamondbacks were able to pull off a 5-1 win after the Brewers scored their first run of the game and their only run in the first inning of the game. The Diamondbacks would come from behind and pick up a very big, much-needed win for them. For the Milwaukee Brewers, the start and the loss would end up going to Brett Anderson. He would allow 3 earned runs in 1.1 inning pitched as he struck out 1. With this loss, he is now 2-5 as a starting pitcher for the Brewers. And in their batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. That can be attributed to great pitching from the Diamondbacks. The start and the win would go to Merrill Kelly. He allowed 1 earned run in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this win, Merrill Kelly is now 3-7 on the season as a starter. In their batting lineup, their center fielder, Ketel Marte, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their shortstop, Nico Ahmed, would go 2 for 4 with a run as well. With this win, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 21-53. That is the worst record in the National League West. That is the worst record in the National League, and that is the worst record in the majors. This is their first win in their last. This is their only win in their last 10 games. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 26 games in the division already. And with this loss, the Milwaukee Brewers are now 40-33. They are now tied with the Chicago Cubs for the best record in the National League Central still, as they have now lost 6 of their last 10 games. They and the Cubs now sit 3.5 games ahead of the third-place St. Louis Cardinals in the division. Last but not least, jumping out to San Diego, the San Diego Padres were able to beat their Southern California rivals, the Los Angeles Dodgers, 6-2 after scoring 4 of their 6 runs in the first inning. For the defending champs, Los Angeles Dodgers, the start and the loss will go to Julio Urias. He allowed 6 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, Urias is now 9-3 on the season. In their batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. Their elite center fielder, Mookie Betts, would go 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 9th home run of the season. For the San Diego Padres, the start and the win would go to their elite starting pitcher, Yu Darvish. He allowed 1 earned run and 2 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 11. With this win, he is now 7-2 on the year. And in their batting lineup, their elite shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr., would go 2 for 3 with 2 runs. Their first baseman, Jake Cronenworth, would go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 9th home run of the year. Their elite third baseman, Manny Machado, would go 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run as he hit his 11th home run of the year. And with this win, the San Diego Padres are now 43-32. That is the 3rd best record in the National League West. They have now won their last 5 games, and they have won 6 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 4.5 games in the National League West. And they now currently are holding on to the 2nd National League wildcard spot, sitting 2.5 games behind the Los Angeles Dodgers and sitting 2 games ahead of the Cubs and the Brewers, 5.5 games ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals, to give a sense of where the Padres are. And with this loss, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 44-28. That is the 2nd best record in the National League West. They have now lost only 3 of their last 10 games. They now sit 2 games behind the San Francisco Giants in the division, and they currently sit 2.5 games ahead of the San Diego Padres as the Dodgers currently hold on to the top wildcard spot in the National League. Right now, that is what the MLB is looking like following yesterday's matchups. Looking forward to what's going on today, especially because today is Tuesday. Today isn't a travel day. At 1:10, Bailey Ober and the Minnesota Twins are going to host Wade Miley and the Cincinnati Reds. Wade Miley is currently sporting a 6-4 record alongside a 2.88 ERA. At 7:05, Tyler Anderson and the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to host Lucas Giolito and the Chicago White Sox. Lucas Giolito currently sporting a 5-5 record alongside a 3.86 ERA. At 7:05, Jorge Lopez and the Baltimore Orioles are gonna host Zach Greinke and the Houston Astros. Zach Greinke is currently sporting a 7-2 record alongside a 3.74 ERA. At 7:05, the New York Yankees, led by their elite starting pitcher Garrett Cole, are going to host Brady Singer and the Kansas City Royals. Garrett Cole is currently sporting an 8-3 record alongside a 2.31 ERA. At 7:05, Zach Wheeler and the Philadelphia Phillies are going to host the Washington Nationals. Zach Wheeler is currently sporting a 5-3 record alongside a 2.15 ERA. At 7:10 on ESPN+, Marcus Stroman and the New York Mets are going to host Charlie Morton and the Atlanta Braves. Marcus Stroman is currently sporting a 6-5 record alongside a 2.35 ERA on the year. Jumping out to Tampa Bay, the Andrew Kittredge and the Tampa Bay Rays are going to host Eduardo Rodriguez and the Boston Red Sox. Andrew Kittredge is currently holding a 5-1 record alongside a 1.34 ERA. At the same time, at 7:10, Tariq Skubal and the Detroit Tigers are going to host Johan Oviedo and the St. Louis Cardinals. At the same time, Sandy Alcantara and the Miami Marlins are going to host Ross Stripling and the Toronto Blue Jays. Sandy Alcantara is currently sporting a 4-6 record alongside a 3.09 ERA. At 8:05, Kyle Hendricks and the Chicago Cubs are going to host Eli Morgan and the Cleveland Indians. Kyle Hendricks is currently sporting a 9-4 record alongside a 4.13 ERA. At 8:05, Jordan Lyles and the Texas Rangers are going to host Cole Irvin and the Oakland Athletics. Cole Irvin is currently sporting a 4-7 record alongside a 3.89 ERA. At 9:38, Andrew Heaney in the Los Angeles Angels are going to host Anthony DeSclafani and the San Francisco Giants. DeSclafani is currently sporting a 7-2 record alongside a 3.01 ERA. At 9:40, Zach Gallen and the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to host Freddie Peralta and the Milwaukee Brewers. Zach Gallen is currently sporting a 1-2 record alongside a 3.99 ERA. Freddie Peralta is currently 6-2, sporting a 2.28 ERA. At 10 o'clock, the San Diego Padres, led by their elite starting pitcher Blake Snell, are going to host Clayton Kershaw, the goated starting pitcher of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Blake Snell is currently sporting a 2-3 record alongside a 5.72 ERA, and Clayton Kershaw is currently 8-6, sporting a 3.36 ERA. And last but not least, at 10:10, Chris Flexen and the Seattle Mariners are going to host Kyle Freeland and the Colorado Rockies. Chris Flexen is currently sporting a 6-3 record alongside a 4.12 ERA on the year. Just to give a sense of what's going on, especially around the league, especially in baseball. Taking a look outside of the United States for a second, starting off in the Copa America, Uruguay hosted Chile, and this game would end up in a draw after Arturo Vidal from Chile would get an own goal in the second half. With this draw, Uruguay now sits fourth in the table as they only have 1 point through 2 matches played, and Chile currently sits second as they have 5 points through 3 matches played, just to give a sense of how well Chile's playing. And then in Group A as well, Argentina hosted Paraguay, and Argentina would end up beating Paraguay 1-0. With this win, they now sit on top of Group A with 7 points through 3 matches played. Jumping out to Euro 2020, after the Group A has been finished, Group B and Group C were able to determine the teams that would come out of there. Starting off with the Group C matches because they happened first. First off, in North Macedonia, the Netherlands was able to pull up a 3-0 win. They were able to get a brace from their Liverpool and now free agent striker Gini Wijnaldum. He would score in the 50th and 58th minute, but that would be after their 24th minute from Memphis Depay, who most recently signed with Barcelona. With this win, Netherlands is going to sit on the top of Group C. And number 2 in the second spot would have gone to Austria because Austria had to play Ukraine for that last spot. And with the only goal of the game coming from Baumgartner in the 21st minute, Austria was able to advance to the next round as they finished with 6 points, which is 3 more than Ukraine. The win was what they needed to get through, and they were able to get it. And then following those matchups, Group B would be up first. The top spot would end up going to Belgium. After Belgium would beat Finland 2-0, their first goal would come from their elite striker, Romelu Lukaku, or their second goal would come from Lukaku as they got an own goal for the first goal. And like I said, with this win, they had 9 points, so they sat on the top of the table. And after them, every other team in Group B finished with 3 points, so it came down to goal differential. And because Finland, so in the other game, Denmark would beat Russia 4-1 to win their only game of the table. And because they won by so much, their goal differential was only 1, and their goal differential was 3 goals better than Finland. So because Denmark added 3 to their goal differential and Finland lost 2, they went down 5. Denmark was able to jump Finland in the table, and Denmark, with only 1 win in the table, was able to advance to the knockout stages off of goal differential. So the teams that are going to be representing Group B are going to be Belgium and Denmark. So that's how that's shaping up. Looking out to what soccer is looking like today, there are going to be no Copa America games, but today will be the determining games for Group D. At 3 o'clock on the first game on ESPN will be between Czech Republic and England. Czech Republic is currently holding the best record in Group D. They and England both have 4 points. Czech Republic has a better goal differential by 1 goal only. So, of course, the winner here will be the team with the best record in the table. But it is also very possible that England, because they have a goal differential of only 2 higher than Croatia and 3 higher than Scotland, a win from either Croatia or Scotland coupled with an England loss could see one of these teams making it in, and Croatia's playing Scotland on ESPN2 at 3 o'clock. I hope I explained this playoff scenario as best I could. Once again, I want to thank ESPN, the NBA, NHL, MLB, and soccer websites for, of course, helping me get the facts and the figures. I wouldn't be able to do this episode without them. And I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well. And once all of today's matchups and exhibitions are done, I will come back tomorrow, Wednesday, June 23rd, to recap all of today's episodes. But until then, I want to thank everyone. Once again, I hope all is well, and I will catch you with another episode when I come back. Thanks for listening to this piece. Don't forget to be elite, and peace out. I'll catch you tomorrow.